Hello, how are you doing? So today I thought I might do something a little bit different. I mean, a lot of what I do on this channel is kind of going across the internet, acknowledging some of the stupid things Americans are saying, trying to kind of explain it, defend myself as an American. I thought, what if I go back to the dumbest thing an American has ever said? The dumbest thing an American has ever said. And then go through the comments from the Europeans and see what you guys have to say about it and try to confront this demon. Now, I assume most of you have seen this video, but then again, I'm old. And this video is kind of old. And at this point, I mean, it's from 2007. So there's a chance this is the first time some of you people are seeing this. Granted, it's got 76 million views. And if it is your first time, I want you to brace yourself. This is the stupidest thing an American has ever said. It happened, and no offense to her. You know, she seems lovely. She didn't mean anything by it. It just happens to be, you know, everything has to have the, you know, be the biggest, the greatest, the fastest in any category. In this case, this is the stupidest, and it's the stupidest thing anyone ever said. I think, you know, we can say she was nervous. Anyway, okay, let's see what we're dealing with here, okay?
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think?
Okay, right off the bat, this question is hilarious. I didn't even let her finish. She says, why do you think this is?
Why do you think this is?
That's the question. A fifth of Americans can't even locate America on a map. That's not good. I don't even know how you're supposed to answer this question, to be honest. You know, you got to give that to her. What are you supposed to say? Well, I guess it's because some Americans have shit for brains, I guess is what they say. That's what they say. Is that the answer? I don't know what the answer is.
Polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
I haven't seen that in maybe 15 years, guys, and I have to take a moment to recover. Oh my God, see, I'm a little bit upset with Miss South Carolina because I don't think America can ever come back from this. No matter what you say, no matter what I do. You know, sometimes I view my job as being like, there needs to be a force out there. There needs to be some Americans that stand up and say, we're not all mentally ill. But then you go and say something like that, and it just it undoes all my hard work in one swift 48-second answer. Was that the first time you saw that? I hope not. Genuinely, I hope not, because that would be really devastating for you, isn't it? Well, if you're an American. If you're European, then you're probably on your ass laughing. I'll wait. You can get back up. Okay, it's not that. Come on. It wasn't that bad of an answer. It could have been worse, right? Actually, I don't think it could have. This video took the internet by absolute storm in 2007. And today I'm going to acknowledge some of the, well, I want to acknowledge the video. You know, I mean, that's a pretty remarkable video right there. It's the dumbest thing an American's ever said. And Americans have said some stupid things. But that tops it. You can't say anything stupider than that. What even did she just say? Was South Africa the Iraq? What is the Iraq? What does the Iraq have to do with finding the U.S. on a map? Well, hold on. You can't blame South Africans and Iraqis for Americans not being able to find America on a map. I don't know what you were trying to do. I appreciate that you thought about the children, make a better world for the children. That's always a great go-to, typically. But in this instance, it didn't make any damn sense. Nothing about what she just said made any damn sense. It's the most insane answer of all time. Also, I have to just say again, that question, absolutely savage and hilarious. And it's kind of funny that they actually asked that at an American event. Like, a fifth of Americans we don't even know where we live. What do you think? Explain that. I think she answered the question brilliantly. She was asked why Americans can't find the U.S. on a world map, and she showed us exactly why. See, this is what I mean. We can never come back from this shit. She really teed that up, didn't she? She teed it up. Maybe the question should have just been, can you find America on a map? That would have been a better question. She forgot the and world peace at the end. Well, actually, this essentially is what she said at the end.
Able to build up our future for our children.
Build up our future for our children, guys. Need to get to that 500 word count, but you're out of ideas. The crazy thing about this answer is that, this is missing a whole aspect of it. She didn't just say the answer and then blah, blah, blah. She started out saying blah, blah, blah. There was no answer. And the question wasn't even hard. All you had to say is, I guess a fifth of Americans are stupid as fuck. That's the answer, right? Apparently, if that stat, I don't know what study you're referencing, but if it is factual, then I guess a fifth of Americans are mentally deranged. That's the answer. It's not a hard question. I guess it's hard to answer that question cordially. Let me actually think. That's like an interesting thought exercise. I'm going to go into my pageant type zone. Okay, a fifth of Americans can't find America on a map. What do you think? Why is that? Why do you think that is? I would say in this country, we have a lot of brilliant men, brilliant women. Some amazing innovation has come out of this country. But with that said, we have a lot of room to improve. Okay, our education system, evidently, it's not succeeding for a fifth of Americans. And so, I propose world peace and a better future for our children. Thank you. Love how she said such as a second time. No. You're misunderstanding that part. She's saying that was actually that was a literary kind of genius, Shakespearean type. I was there was a comma or something, like a semicolon, such as, South Africa, such as South Africa and the Iraq, such as, such as, it's talking about. That made sense, right? It's like she wrote down a list of smart phrases to use in context, but started to panic and just kind of threw one out. That's exactly what she did, actually, I'm pretty sure. She has the exact voice I was expecting her to have. What, American accent? Thank you very much, South Carolina. Oh, God, yeah, watching the guy's face. How can you not laugh if you're this guy?
believe and don't
They
Africa.
don't show him till the end. But look at him.
So we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Look at his face.
My po-
Who are you, bro? Oh my god. Let's read a couple more comments. God damn, this is so painful. This was a historic moment for the Miss Teen USA pageant. Yeah, did this end that pageant? Like, I'd never heard of that before this or after this. It was the first time that a question was answered using only the middle option of iPhone's autocorrect. I don't even know if iPhone had autocorrect in 2007. That was quite soon after its invention, actually. Isn't that amazing? It really wasn't that long ago that there were no smartphones, guys. Totally random, but that will never cease to amaze me. Like, you know, because I lived without smartphones. I lived without really even cell phones being like prevalent. It was a different time. Anyway, nowadays, everybody can see Miss Teen USA make an absolute fool out of Americans in the blink of an eye, you know, instantly. As a South African, I want to know why she dragged us into this. I personally believe, oh God, she wasn't speaking for all of us. Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good point. That was her personal belief, guys. That was not America's stance. When the teacher calls on you and you weren't listening, you know, that is, all jokes aside, that is the only real explanation for that answer is, I think there's a chance, if I had to make an excuse for her, she was so nervous, she straight up, the question went in one ear, out the other, didn't process at all. She had no idea what the question was. Then again, part of her answer was about, you know, some Americans don't have maps. So she did hear the question. I don't freaking know. There's no making sense of it. God damn. She was definitely nervous. I'm back 10 years later and she's still my favorite. You know what? I appreciate that. That's a positive outlook on it. She's my favorite too. This was epic. Thank you, Miss Teen USA, South Carolina. Thank you for this. It was freaking epic. I'll never forget that video. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.